This is the practice page for section 4.4. We're going to find a value of x that makes the two lines, L and M, parallel. That's what that says. These are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles need to be the same if you want lines to be parallel. So 4x must equal 80. So just divide by 4. X is 20. If x is 20, those lines are parallel. Number 4. These angles are consecutive interior angles. Those are the ones that aren't the same. That's acute, that's obtuse. They're not going to be the same, but they will add to 180. So your 8x minus 5 plus the 65 equals 180. Now some of you may have already done the math to start with. If you take away 65 degrees from 180, you end up with 115. So you also could have done this. Just set 8x minus 5 equal to 115. That's the same thing as subtracting 65 from 180 right now. Now if you add 5 to both sides and then divide by 8, 120 divided by 8 gives you 15. If x is 15, the lines are parallel. If it's not, then they aren't. The next section, we're looking for pairs of parallel lines or segments. So we're looking for congruent angles. Here's a pair, but they're vertical. These angles aren't the same, but if we put the vertical angle on, that gives you consecutive interior angles here that are supplementary, which means the lines that make them are parallel. So line L and line M are parallel in that example. Is there any way we could show that line N is parallel to line P? Well, if these lines are parallel and that angle's 48 degrees, that angle's 48 degrees also. And that's going to give you congruent corresponding angles over here, which then shows that lines N and line P are parallel. Let's take a look at number 10. We're looking for congruent corresponding angles here. So that means that these lines that make them are parallel. So line SY is parallel to line UW. We don't have any other pairs of congruent corresponding angles, so this guy right here looks like the odd man out. He is not parallel to those ones. Last one, we'll do number 11. Find a value of x that makes these lines L and M parallel. This angle and this angle don't have a relationship that we study, but if you transfer the vertical angles, now you have consecutive interior angles. And those need to be supplementary. So we're going to write that equation. These two angles must add to 180. We're going to combine our like terms. 3x plus 1x is 4x. The 5 and the negative 5 cancel. And we're going to do 180 divided by 4. And that'll give you 45. If x is 45, the lines are parallel. Using the value you found in part A, determine whether lines P and Q are parallel. Well, if x is 45, that's going to make this angle 45 minus 5. So this guy's 40. And I know that's tough to see in there. But this one's 140 because they're supplementary. And notice how we have a 45 over here. So if we transfer its vertical angle over, 45 and 140 don't add up to 180. So those lines are definitely not parallel. So we'll write it like this. Line P and line Q are not parallel.